Hey gods and goddesses, so I'm going to talk about retrogrades. Currently, we are at the final stretch of Venus retrograde. She will go direct June 25th. But after that, we have just like a few weeks of shadow period. And Venus retrograde, well, Venus has to do with beauty, love, relationships, our resources, our values. So all of that has been in the mix lately, the mix of life, and we've been reworking those issues, or maybe feeling so much desire to have some beautiful sexual experience, or meet a new lover if we're single, or find love, or re-enhance our love in the couple that we're in. Or perhaps we're looking for a new home or a piece of land, or perhaps we want to dye our hair red or purple, or get piercings or a tattoo. We're desiring to kind of change things up, change maybe our love situation up, change the way we look, beauty, reorganize, redecorate our home, maybe buy new clothes. Also, Taurus and Venus really loves beautiful things. But in Venus retrograde, we don't always make the best decisions. So whatever we've been processing or desiring about beauty, love, home, relationship, or buying that new fur jacket, well, maybe not fur, if you're a vegan. But is it a good idea? Was it a good idea? Reflecting, since now we're at the end. And it's okay, it's always good to experiment. But in Venus retrograde, a lot of these situations come up. We're really desiring to make a change in these areas. Maybe even the way we make money. We want to change our career, because Taurus and Venus also has to do with abundance. And our values, really our values. So what do we value? How are we valuing ourselves? How are we valuing our body? Are we in touch with our body? Taurus Venus is very sensual, and she likes to be lazy and stay at home and maybe just do shavasana, lay around, put oil on her body, maybe give herself like a face mask or a hair mask. Venus really loves to take care of herself, and retrograde is a perfect time for that, right? So it also has to do with cleansing, in the sense that, well, let me talk about retrogrades in general. I see retrogrades as a time of cleansing, because when we're in retrograde, it's like, for me, I feel like we're moving closer to source, closer to chaos. The planet in the sky appears to be moving backwards, as it usually does, move in the other direction. So it just appears to be moving a different direction, because how the Earth and that planet are crossing paths in that moment. And it's like the Earth has moved forward, and now Venus looks like it's moving backwards as the Earth passes by. So that's the astronomy, right, of the orbits going around. But the feeling for me, and also when I look at the horoscope, when I look at the chart, these ones, or in the sky even, the planets are now moving clockwise as opposed to counterclockwise. And for me, that always kind of like shook me, and I was like, it's almost like the retrogrades, which we consider backwards, or some would say, like an evolutionary astrologer might say, that the retrograde is like against the status quo. It's moving against the norm, right? So for me, in my opinion, moving against the status quo is moving closer to source. Many times, not always, I suppose, but it's like going back into the state of chaos, forgetting the rules, the limitations that are put upon us or we put upon ourselves that are just like in our environment or our DNA, and it's going against that, against, I wouldn't really say against the river flow, but it's a new direction, or it's the other direction rather. And so for me, it's going back into chaos. It's like cleaning house. And for me, whenever I clean my room, it gets super messy at first. Like, because I want to reorganize everything and I want to make it perfect, right? So I just mess everything up because I'm like, oh, I want to move this piece of furniture here, move this there, reorganize my jewelry case, reorganize this, that, and all of a sudden everything in the room is flying around and I'm in total chaos and I'm exhausted and I'm like, the room is not clean yet and I have a huge job in front of me. So that's kind of like a retrograde, because we're going backwards, we're reflecting deep in the body, in the psyche, in the spirit. Especially for Venus, it's going to be in the body, but since it's been Venus in Gemini retrograde, it's also had this mental aspect, what we've been feeling the past month anyhow. And since Venus has to do with relationships, a lot of relationships have been coming back into our life. Old boyfriends or girlfriends, old lovers, old people that have been very important to us in some way have reappeared in our life, whether online or in our dreams or in our neighborhood or in our house. So yeah, retrogrades tend to bring the past back. So it is moving backwards in a sense, but it's like when you clean the room again, you know, you're gonna find your old journal and this beautiful poem that you wrote or this journal entry, and it's so exciting, right? Or maybe it's sad or it evokes some kind of emotion because we're reliving that past cycle. So it's like retrogrades give us a chance to relive a past cycle and remember what were the lessons, what are the new upgraded lessons that I'm learning now in regards to Venus retrograde about relationships, about the way I take care of my body, about the way I relate to my land, my Mother Earth, my home. So, and with Gemini, Venus retrograde in Gemini, it's really been about how do we relate and connect with our brothers and sisters as well, which I talked about a lot in the video before. So now we're in Mercury retrograde. So again, we're going into the chaos. We're getting closer to source, which is chaos. You know, it's ordered chaos. It can be ordered, but we have to reorder it. We have to consciously figure out the new way we want to experience our body or experience our mind. And with Mercury retrograde, it's the mind. So I like to use the term rewind. We're rewinding in Mercury retrograde because it's so perfect, because Mercury is air. Mercury is like the wind. So we're rewinding. We're going back in the mind and reflecting and feeling and thinking about like, what have I been thinking? And what have I been creating with my thoughts? And so the mind might get really messy for a while, and it might be confusing. It might be difficult to communicate. Technology goes down, the internet in my house, oh my gosh, why is it so slow? I can't upload my videos. But some kind of communication situation can arise because of Mercury retrograde, because we're in the chaos. We're cleaning house, so everything's a mess before we reorder it. reorganize it. So that's really our work, is to allow ourselves to go into the chaos. We allow ourselves to go into the chaos, but then we reorganize, because the unconscious, the chaos, or the superconscious, everything exists there, right? But the conscious mind can only focus on so many things at once, depending on how the unconscious has been structured and how the conscious mind has brought in unconscious things over time and worked them, which I will talk about in another video because it's too much for right now. But the conscious mind is only going to be able to focus on a few things at once. It's the focus, it's the frame. It's like, okay, this is what I'm looking at right now, and this is what I can think about, this is what I can process. Wow, the unconscious or the superconscious is all around with all of the genius and everything else that exists in the frequency world is out there. So what are we going to pull from that superconscious to focus on? And from the unconscious, which more specifically than the superconscious, we can talk about the unconscious or the subconscious as how has my subconscious been programmed. So what can I pull out of there that I want to focus on and I want to change? Maybe a belief was taught to me that I don't know how to sing, and I believe that. Or I will never be able to create a permaculture, or whatever is the belief, negative belief, that's still in the subconscious. Can we rework that? Can we see that that's there, and then that's motivating our actions or our non-actions? Or can we see that, and then can we go there, rewind, erase, delete, clean it up, throw it away, recycle. Let's recycle it. And we can recycle it into new energy, where the thought is like, I can accomplish my dreams because I have so much faith in myself, and I'm breathing in the love and light, ecstatic energy that is all around me. I'm breathing it in and allowing myself to little by little create the things that I want to create. Even if I only spend an hour on it a day, if I don't have time for anything else, can I give myself that hour to focus on what I want to create, whether it's writing a book or creating a new project, for a new way to earn income, whatever it is. Can we focus on it a little bit and bring that genius forward from the superconscious? So Mercury retrograde is a very powerful time. A lot of people talk down on it, like, oh, I might get a flat tire, my computer's gonna break, blah, blah, blah. This is not really the best magic. A few things I said there were not the best magic spells, because I was giving examples. But conscious magic would be saying exactly what we want to manifest, exactly what we want to invoke. We're going to be good witches and wizards, and we're going to invoke and evoke what it is that we want to manifest. I am a committed person. I am going to accomplish my dreams. I am going to do my yoga practice or my exercise every day. I am also going to love myself so much. And if I need to rest, I'm going to rest. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to work on my book. I'm going to schedule appointments with everyone I need to, and I'm going to have enough time to take care of myself and to do my work, and I'm going to cook a new healthy recipe this week. Voila. Or I'm going to organize my mind. As simple as that. I'm going to let myself go into the feelings and go into the feelings that arise from the thoughts that are programmed in the subconscious, I'm gonna let myself think those thoughts again and feel them and feel if they make me feel good or do they make me feel like shit. Because if they make me feel like shit, I'm going to erase, delete, and in my rewinding process, I'm gonna be like, okay, you're out, recycle, and now I'm gonna bring in something new. Some new positive energy, affirming energy, to remind myself how amazing I am, to remind myself that I am a co-creator, and that's what we're here to do, is to remember. And we all need reminders because there's so much going on in life. So many people, thoughts, things to do. It's like the days go by so fast, you know? And maybe you don't. I feel like time is just running. And it seems like we had so much more time in the past to do things, and it seems like now the time, to me, it just doesn't feel like there's enough time in the day. But let's rewrite that spell right now. There is enough time in the day. There is enough time in the day for me to accomplish what I would like to accomplish. There is enough time and space for me to meditate. There is enough space and time for me to create abundance in my life. There is enough space and time for me to be there for my friends and my family. There is enough love for everyone. There is enough love for everyone. There is enough love for everyone. So, retrogrades, we clean house, make a mess, go into the chaos. Maybe we have to really feel it and scream it out or dance it out or swim it out. Whatever it is, we freaking let ourselves feel what we need to feel so we can release it or we can learn from it. So we go back in the past to learn. What have we learned from the past? What have we learned, and what do we want to take forward with us? What makes us feel good and what does not make us feel good? And how do we rewire our circuitry to feel more good more of the time, more balanced, more alive, more creative, more supportive, more in service of myself and my others and my earth? So retrograde, allow yourself to go into the chaos. Surrender into the yinward, inward time that it is. Let yourself be yin. Trying to play with words, the spells. Let yourself be yin and completely enjoy the reworkings of your mind, this Mercury retrograde. I wish you many revelations and so much laughter. And Mercury is the trickster. So remember, the mind is tricky, super tricky. He's a trickster. He plays games. So are we lying to ourselves? Are we in denial of who we really are? Are we listening to the same lies again and again, or the same old stories, running these stories through our head? It's a trick. Remember who you really are. A creative, divine, beautiful beam of light here to express your unique magic to the world. I love you. Ciao.